The PlayStation 2 themed PlayStation 5 generated a lot of buzz on the internet, but after selling out online yesterday, the situation has unfortunately taken a turn for the worse. And folks over on Reddit have made an interesting discovery that might be pointing to a January Nintendo Direct coming soon. What's going on, guys? I'm RGT85. I hope you're having a great Saturday. I know I am. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. So of course, one of the hot holiday items was the PlayStation 5. Ever since it was released, a lot of people have been trying to get their hands on one and have been finding that, well, it's pretty difficult. Obviously, things like not being able to go into a store and simply buy one. The fact that many scalpers are out there buying up lots of quantities of these systems and then selling them at very ridiculously high prices. It's stuff we talked about last month on the channel, essentially just making fun of these scalpers. And I always said, just sort of hunker down, wait for the system to come out, because really there's not a whole lot of reason to get one right now at this very second unless you're a die-hard PlayStation fan. Waiting a few weeks or potentially a few months isn't really that big of a deal. But since then, of course, we've seen companies try to dip their toes and do customization of the PlayStation 5. We've seen a couple different companies such as PlateStation come along, but supposedly they got a cease and desist from Sony with switching out the plates on the PlayStation 5 to sort of customize it. Now they're moving on to just sort of stickers for your PlayStation 5. But one company that was generating a lot of buzz was a company called SUP3R5. It's obviously a stylized name. I'm going to guess it is pronounced Supers. That's how we're going to call it in this video. And they were essentially behind something very cool looking. It was essentially a PlayStation 2 themed PlayStation 5 project that was allegedly going to be a coded PlayStation 5 system, and they were also doing a DualSense controller in the same way, of course stylized to look like a PlayStation 2. It was honestly a very cool looking system. I think a lot of people wanted the system to look like this right out of the gate. I'm not a huge fan of the all-white PlayStation 5. Obviously, it attracts more dirt than a system probably should. Now, yesterday on January 8th, these went up for sale on their website for both the console and a controller. Now, Super says that they had about 304 consoles, which was a throwback to the release date of March 4th, 2000 for the original release of the PlayStation 2, but things got quickly out of control when it came to this PlayStation 2 themed PlayStation 5. Big websites like GameSpot, Newsweek, and many other gaming websites started covering this. And of course, your gaming news channels like Spawnwave and 8-Bit Eric did as well. So a lot of people got interested in this project. Now, I never really talked about it because I just didn't find it all that interesting, but a lot of people did find this interesting, and a lot of people got a lot of views off of this, so I probably should have talked about it earlier. Now, according to Super's Twitter account, they ended up with about 54,000 people on the wait list for when this project went live. But remember, they only had 304 consoles. So of course, orders went up for this. They sold out within seconds pretty much. And a lot of disgruntled customers were emerging from this. They weren't able to get this system. But if there's only 304, obviously you're not going to have the greatest chance in the world of getting this. But this morning, though, things took a turn for the worst when it comes to this PlayStation 2 themed PlayStation 5, as Supers put out a tweet giving the following statement. Last night, our team began receiving credible threats to their safety. We take these threats seriously, and as a result, we're not proceeding forward. All orders are being canceled with full refunds. So now this project has been completely canceled, and a lot of people are obviously upset by this. The people who managed to get either a controller or a PlayStation 5 from this website are now having to deal with the fact that they're not going to get their system. Now, taking this at face value, I would have to say this is absolutely ridiculous. This is a piece of plastic, an entertainment toy, and if you're out here threatening companies because you didn't get your hands on one, like you're an entitled baby, and we need to stop this whole mindset. Like, you seriously need to be like locked away or seek help if this is something that's such a huge issue to you that you're going to threaten individuals and their livelihood just for the fact that you weren't able to get your hands on one. So I do think that that is an absolutely ridiculous thing, but there are a lot of people starting to throw around the term scam with this project. Now, looking deeper into this project and who Supers actually is, there are definitely some very questionable things with it, to say the least. First off, the company Supers first created their Twitter account back on December 30th of 2020. 2020, so just a little over a week ago. Secondly, how did this company manage to acquire 300 plus PlayStation 5 systems and all of these DualSense controllers in the first place, when obviously it is very hard to get your hands on these systems? It's not like there's an abundance of these systems. These are actual systems that they allegedly had and were customizing to look like a PlayStation 2, so all of the inventory was available through them already. Third, going onto their website, there's really little to no information about the company whatsoever. Aside from saying that the product would be assembled and done in the United States, there's no business information or anything for the company, such as addresses, phone numbers, or additional contact information besides linking their Twitter account and a random email address. Now, thankfully, people who purchase this via PayPal have been getting their money back easily, but for those who purchase with a credit card, they seem to be having some issues removing their credit card off of the website currently and are still awaiting refunds, which of course could take a few days. So what do I think of this situation? What do I think actually happened with this? I don't necessarily think it was a scam. I do believe that this company, however they managed to get it, did manage to get 304 PlayStation 5 systems. I think this company isn't really a company though. I'm pretty sure it's just like one or two individuals who maybe managed to get a bunch of PlayStation 5 through nefarious methods, as far as I'm concerned, because you're not going to get 304 PlayStation 5s in a simple way. I honestly feel like this is a project that quickly spiraled out of control for these individuals. Maybe they didn't expect all of this press, you know, places like GameSpot and of course Newsweek covering this. Obviously that's going to bring a lot of eyes to your project. So I don't know. I guess you could take their statement at face value. Maybe something happened behind the scenes, but I tend to believe that this is just something that spiraled out of control very quickly for them, and they realized that they were just in way too deep over their head and weren't going to be able to do this. So if you managed to pre-order one of these PlayStation 5s that were looking like a PlayStation 2, you're not getting them. Really, something you have to take into account is the fact that this company was so new, and I feel like that should have been a red flag for a lot of people. Sometimes when something sounds too good in life, it more than likely is. So definitely an unfortunate situation all around, but an interesting situation. I am looking forward to seeing what ends up happening next. Hopefully everyone is able to get a refund, but definitely a very questionable situation that's going to raise a lot of red flags for a lot of people. And finally, Nintendo Direct stuff. This seems to be becoming a very hot topic for a lot of Nintendo fans out there. A lot of people are wondering, where's the Nintendo Direct? When are we going to get a Nintendo Direct? Is it going to be a Nintendo Direct Mini? Is it going to be a full Nintendo Direct? When are we going to learn about games for the Nintendo Switch in 2021? Obviously, this is a big situation for a lot of people because people want to know what games they're going to be playing this year. So far, we only know of one first-party Nintendo game, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and there's still a lot of questions about that game that comes out in the month of February. So many people are anticipating Nintendo to do something in the month of January as far as talking about new games is concerned, but now it seems like we might actually have a little bit of proof of an event happening for Nintendo, more than likely a Nintendo Direct of some sort. So people over on Reddit made a very interesting discovery within the past 24 hours. Basically, the Nintendo.com/Nintendo-Direct/archive website was actually updated as far as back-end stuff is concerned. Nothing visible to where if you went to the website you'd be able to see anything, but things are happening behind the scenes with this as far as updates being done to the website, and usually that sort of signifies that something is eventually coming. So now people are saying that this could be potentially proof of a Nintendo Direct event happening in the month of January, and honestly I think it sort of is. Now, am I saying that it's going to be that January 11th Nintendo Direct that we talked about a few days ago on the channel? Hell no. Like I said, that was just a funny video I wanted to make because it was just so ridiculous that people were actually buying into what was on this list of things, because it's really just a pipe dream list with a lot of things that just don't make sense. But as far as the Nintendo Direct presentation happening in the month of January, I definitely think it's within the realm of possibility, and I definitely think it makes sense because of something that, well, we've already talked about, and that's Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. This game is coming out next month for the Nintendo Switch, and if this was a simple one-to-one port, like maybe they could forego doing a Nintendo Direct presentation for this game, but it's not. They even did a Nintendo Direct for Pikmin 3 Deluxe Edition, which really didn't have all that much stuff, whereas this game includes something called Bowser's Fury that we still don't know what the hell Bowser's Fury is. Like, do you play as Bowser? Are they new levels added into this game? Like, what is Bowser's Fury? Nobody knows, but this game is coming out next month. So I definitely think we are getting a Nintendo Direct presentation in the month of January, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be a full-on Nintendo Direct. I honestly feel like it's going to be one of two different things. Either a specialized Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury event where they just sort of focus in on that one game, talk about what's being added to it, showcasing the online, how the online is going to work, and then finally talking about what Bowser's Fury is, or potentially a Nintendo Direct Mini where Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is sort of the focal point, and then you have about 10 minutes of other games that are coming out on the Nintendo Switch, maybe some new announcements. Obviously some third-party games are going to be in there. You got to remember, last, I believe it was March, we learned about games like BioShock and Borderlands coming to the Nintendo Switch, along with XCOM as well, and that was a very exciting Nintendo Direct Mini. So I feel like it's going to be one of those two different things. When will it happen? I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I wouldn't be super surprised if next week Nintendo announced that the Nintendo Direct was happening involving Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, because the game comes out in like a month. You got to talk about the game at some point in time. You have to tell people what's new with this game, and obviously it's Nintendo's first game of 2021. They want this game to be a success, and honestly, I'm gonna double dip on this game. I played Super Mario 3D World to death on the Wii U, and I thought it was a really fun game. By adding in more stuff, by adding in online, it actually sort of gives it more of a value than with other games that you've seen brought over to the Nintendo Switch from the Wii U. So I'm looking forward to this game. So do I think that this is proof of a Nintendo Direct happening? Yes, but looking at the Nintendo Direct website that is in question right now, they cover all Nintendo Direct events. So don't necessarily think it's going to be a full-on presentation, but I do think something is happening. I do think something is happening very soon, and it's more than likely going to be involving Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Alright, so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think of everything in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We got a little bit of a rant to end this video. I've been sort of ranting about various sports things lately at the end of the videos. I know some of you guys enjoy it. If you don't care about sports, you don't care about this. But you know what? Time to put respect on Lonzo Ball's name. I have two teams in the NBA, the Charlotte Hornets and the New York Knicks. I grew up watching the Knicks as I lived in the Northeast, then I moved to the South when I was a teenager, so I became a fan of the Charlotte Bobcats / Hornets, and now I'm back in the Northeast and a fan of the Knicks again. Lonzo Ball is out there balling right now for the Charlotte Hornets. He is obviously one of the best rookies that we've seen out of the rookie class for last year, and he is doing absolute great work. I know the Ball family is annoying as hell, and I don't really like them, but Lonzo Ball is a baller. It is time to put respect on his name, because you know what? He's gonna mess around and end up becoming Rookie of the Year. I'm calling it now. Lonzo Ball, Rookie of the Year. Sucks that the Knicks lost last night, but at least Lonzo was out there balling and the Hornets got the win. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.